Good morning. I just woke up here. I'm in my room here at this yoga retreat. Been working here, and I just had some thoughts that came to my mind. I'm sitting here in front of the heater, as you do, as I do, just kind of slowly getting out of bed, and I just wanted to share with you some thoughts that have been percolating in my mind. A quote from Les Brown, a famous motivational speaker, came into my head. Don't let other people's opinions of you become your reality. And I just want to say that while this is really true, it's so important for us to really excavate what we've been programmed to believe about ourselves and to explore these deeper beliefs and patterns we have in our lives, because other people's opinions of us have shaped who we are. Our family, our parents, our teachers, what people have said to us since we were little kids has shaped our belief systems. And so it's not just as easy as the quote might, lead you to believe. Don't let other people's opinions of you become your reality. This is why doing the work on yourself is so important. And consistency, and not just consistency, but like really taking your life, turning it inward, and beginning to cultivate that relationship with yourself to where your life pivots towards a new way of being, a new way of relating to yourself, a new way of looking and seeing the world. When you shift the way you interact with the world, that's when you're able to really access that deeper power and understanding, and you're able to really start to transform those patterns and those belief systems that you have about who you think you are, what you think you're capable of. I mean, I'll tell you this, like, I was in a really difficult place when 2020 happened. And, excuse me, I'm turning down this heater here. I was in a really difficult place when 2020 happened. I never would have thought I would have come across the ocean. But every time I listen to myself, and every time I turn towards myself, and every time I get to choose, and we all get to choose, I get to choose myself, I get to choose trust, I get to choose to listen, I get to choose to cultivate that relationship with myself. When I choose that over fear, over what people tell me is possible, over limiting beliefs, and when I say, hey, I'm in trouble, and I'm going to get help for this. I'm not just going to fight this on my own. I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to understand it and see what I can do about it, and see how I can change it, and see how I can let it pass through me, let it go, forgive. When I do that, that's when I'm able to transform my environment. You're hugging the problem. You're saying, hey, let's figure this out. You're saying, let's understand this and actually look at this and be honest about it, instead of fighting against it, instead of saying, oh, I have these beliefs, I need to say, no, not these beliefs, these beliefs. When you're able to work with it to move it, because this stuff is, this stuff is like sludge, these beliefs, these patterns, these old things. They're like sludge. It's stuck in your body, and you don't even notice it because it's what you're used to. And so this sludge keeps you from moving in different ways. It keeps your joints and your body from operating in different ways. And, it clouds your vision. It colors how you see things. But when you get someone to help you move things, and when you start working with this to excavate and move through it, let it go, and you start working with anything you can get your hands on. It doesn't have to, it's not all up in your brain. It's not just psychology. Somatic psychology has been a huge thing because it has to do with your body. And your body is where you hold a lot of trauma and these patterns, we hold it as like stuck energy in our body. And when we start to work with people and different modalities to move it, we start to be able to move in our lives in different ways and see things and pivot. We have more range of motion in our lives. We can act in different ways. We have more agency with what we do and who we are. And that voice inside of us becomes a lot more clear. And I'll tell you what, when I always ask myself, and I can get an honest answer, because after you do that clearing, after you do that moving, your body speaks to you more. You get more of a yes or a no. You know what that feels like. It feels good in your body to say yes. It feels no. You know when it's not right for you. And it's hard. It's a practice. It doesn't come easy, and it takes tackling like big situations, Sometimes you have to speak up for yourself when it feels like, maybe your whole situation is against you. Maybe there's a lot at stake, but do it now before the stakes get higher, because things compound on each other and pressure happens. And so the sooner you recognize the pressure building inside of you, that sludge accumulating inside of you, the sooner you can start to work on it and overcome that block and release that pressure so stuff can start to move. Because when stuff starts to build up, it gets tougher and tougher. You get into these situations where things get more toxic and toxic until you have no choice. And some of us are born in situations like this. Some of us are just born with sludge, We have stuff from, when we're in the womb, like stuff that our bodies and our nervous system picked up from our mothers, from her own stress. But when we recognize that there's choice, and there's always choice, when you recognize there's choice, you can always start to make that pivot in increments, in slow increments. It took me leaving a home situation, a family situation 13 years ago, running, not knowing where I was going, what was happening, why I was feeling so rough, why life was so difficult for me, and finding someone and finally saying, hey, I need help because I don't know what's going on with this. Finally breaking down and then starting to uncover all this crap inside of me. And here I am. 13, 14 years later. I'm here in Greece on an island, and still sorting stuff out, but now I'm, instead of running from something, I'm not only running towards something, I'm looking to help other people who are who have been in the same boat as me. Because when we forge away, we can look back and say, hey, y'all, this is what I did. And our way isn't like the only way, and our way isn't like, a clear recipe or a clear-cut path. But it's an example. And a lot of us have these examples. A lot of us have done things that we don't give ourselves credit for. We don't see ourselves completely. Look at yourself. Look at those accomplishments and look at what you can do. Look at what you can heal. Look at your power. Give yourself credit. Give yourself that love. I need to take my own advice. Give yourself that love. Say, yeah, I can freaking do this. I can freaking move this. And I might not be in the where my ideal place is, but I am freaking way far ahead of where I came from. So just want to leave you with this message. This is the importance of doing the work. Doing the work, whatever that looks like. And that's what the thing is, one step. Where's my next step? Where's my next step? You can have your idea of where you want to be, but it all starts, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. And it's going to look different. When you start moving, it's going to look different from what you expected. Don't let that deter you. Keep going. It's freaking, because stuff will surprise you and it'll be, a lot better, and it'll be a lot powerful, and it'll be a lot more rewarding than what you could have freaking imagined in your mind, because you'll be feeling it in your body. And when you feel it in your body and you change what you thought in your mind, that is a representation of where you were. But where you end up being is a total different mindset. You'll be in a completely different place of consciousness, place of seeing things. It'll be 10 times better than what you expected. Because you'll be there and you'll feel it. Anyways, hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Goodbye.